Welcome to the Nomad Network, your first stop for complete and comprehensive Chicago Bears football coverage. Dive deep into analyses, updates, and all things Bears. Subscribe to our YouTube channel today and never miss a beat. Thank you in advance for your support. We promise to bring you the best because together we're unstoppable. Go Bears!
Yo, no maniacs. Welcome to another edition of Feed the Bears, where I do my job to feed you, the Bears, the best coverage I can give you guys, and we can give you guys. So, welcome to the show, you guys, man. I see people in the chat already, and that's good, man. You know, people starting to get used to me being out here in the day during these hours. I'm trying to get dialed in as to exactly what hour and what time I'm going to be able to do the show, but it's kind of fluid right now. You know, life gets in the way and all kinds of stuff, but I'm gonna try it. I think we did the show exactly this time yesterday, so that's good. We got 2 days in a row at 1:30 Central. So let's see if we can stick to that a little bit. First person in the chat, my guy Crimson is up in this thing, man. Shout out to Crimson, you dig. Squeegee, the second guy up in here. Shout out to you, bro. And then Levante just busted up in here. Shout out to Levante Rogers, man. Peace to all you guys, man. Let me see. Liberty's Outlook just up in here. Space Time. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. Do it, lady, huh? Let me see who else out. Give the offense a chance. Yes, sir. We're going to talk about a little bit of everything today. As much as I can tell you, as much as I saw, as much as I heard, saw some videos on YouTube, saw a bunch of, people like Braggs and let me see. Let me think of another reporter. Zach Pearson puts a pretty good timeline out there. Couple other reporters that do a pretty good blow by blow during 7-on-7s and 11-on-11s. They do a pretty good rundown on Twitter as to what, for the people that can't see, like myself, but they also some of the people put out videos like what's his name, Pat the designer puts out some pretty good videos out there. A lot of other people that are reporting on the Bears, they put some pretty good videos out there, and I can see with my own eyes what is actually going on out there through them, and also some of the stuff that they're breaking down in the timelines. I can kind of put together exactly what's going on out there. And again, the defense is kind of calling the shots out there, and they were I guess a lot of situational stuff, situational football installs, short red zone area, just to 2-minute drill stuff, that kind of thing. Situational football, coaches are going to drill that and drill that and drill that and drill that until it's right, until you can weaponize situational football with your offense. And so I love to hear that. Sounded like the defense really, really dominated them in the early part of practice. And I think it sounded like the offense came on pretty strong afterwards, towards the end of it. And that's good to hear. What I could see on video was them getting to the line of scrimmage pretty clean, as opposed to the stuff we've been hearing for the last couple of days. It's rocky and all that kind of stuff. They're getting to the line of scrimmage. It's looking a little bit cleaner. You ain't getting hearing a lot of offsides. I did hear one, Ozzie Trapillo got a false start, but that's not too bad. That's what you expect right about now. But before I get into it, let me get to a couple of comments here. See who's saying what in the chat. Let me see. I say keep putting it on them. Yes, man. I want to see the defense get after him, man. That's you can't. Iron sharpens iron, baby. It's got to be competitive out there. Yes, sir. Iron sharpens iron. Yep. He says it's going to be tough for the defense for a few weeks. New line, new language, new coaches. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me see. Crimson saying, considering that bias and weakness under the previous regime, I'm glad they're focusing on it. Yes, sir. Let me see. Yeah, most of the key guys, they've been together on this defense for a while, Levante. But the thing is changing up the language, changing up the calls at the line of scrimmage. What I did hear, what I was really pleased to hear, I think it was TJ when he came to the podium, I think yesterday. Sounds like, and you as a defensive guy, when you hear a linebacker say that the coach is giving you flexibility to call and make checks during the play. So he's not. So if he calls a certain coverage, letting them know this is what the call is, he gives them the flexibility to change it and check it live during the action. If you know what it is and it's not the right coverage, one of the things that will really, as a player, will really upset me is when we get a call in and we're running a defense and then we see the formation set up and we know that's not the right defense for what we're about to deal with. And you're stuck there. I've always been approving of a coach that's flexible like Dennis Allen is. If we see something it's not right, we check it with each other. Hey, man, let's get into this, and we can go from there. That is a great thing to hear. When I heard that TJ said that, that was a good thing to hear. They're going to morph that defense to whatever the situation calls for, instead of being stuck in that same antiquated stuff that Flus never let them out of and kind of exposed them to. It was just bad looking sometimes. But knowing that Dennis Allen is going to kind of push the envelope with them and trust those guys to, check out of whatever they're in and let them get into something that fits them better in that moment, that's good. I hope y'all love hearing that, because I was happy as hell to hear it. So let me get to a couple more comments. FFG, shout out to you, my guy. Let me see. I know what you meant, space and time. I know exactly what you meant. Let me see. He says, Levante Rogers says, please put Tremaine back in the role that he had in Buffalo. One of the things, Levante, I'm glad you mentioned that, because one of the things, let me see if I got some of this in my overlays. Let me see. Hold on. Give me a second to pull up some stuff. Let me see. I don't think I have. Oh, yeah, I do. One of the things that I was I constantly keep, when I'm looking at those videos and they're doing 11 on 11s, one of the guys that continues to flash at me every time I look at one of those videos is Tremaine Edmonds. He is really, Levante, he's really flashing out there. Different role he's playing right now. I wouldn't say a different role, more of a more aggressive Tremaine Edmonds I'm seeing out there right now. He's flying. I mean, using that length, he is moving around out there and he looks free. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the biggest difference. If I could give you one word that might explain the difference between Tremaine under Flus and Tremaine now under Dennis Allen, it's free. He's not caught up in a lot of zone coverages and trying to manage a space. They are being very, very aggressive. That is coming through in everything I see on video. I don't really need anybody to tell me when I can see a video, oh, they're morphing coverages, they're disguising things, they're blitzing a lot with the linebackers. They're doing a lot that I'm really happy to see. And that's just one thing. He looks good out there. Squeegee said he was looking swollen out there today. Let me see what else. Discipline. FFG says discipline is the key. This is a veteran unit that to adapt quickly. Let me see. Yes, uses athleticism. Man, you got that kind of length and that kind of speed. You got to use it as a weapon. You can't have him just sitting back there in the middle of the field waiting for something to come over his head or come up under him and him just reacting to. Yeah, it's just you're not getting your money's worth out of a guy like that. I understood it. I understood the concept. Again, I played in that same concept in college and in high school. I understand the principles and the rules to it. It's just not advantageous to the linebackers, especially when you can't get a pass rush. You can't get a pass rush. Those guys look so. It's a long game for linebackers and DBs when you can't get a pass rush. It's just bad to look at, man, for the most part. But Tremaine Edmonds is definitely one of those guys out there. I keep seeing flash on film, man. I think that was him. I think I was watching the play. It was a play action boot to the right side. I think they were looking for olamide zaccheaus. I might be wrong, but I believe it was Tremaine. That ball was thrown high over to the right corner, and I think it was Tremaine that jumped and snagged that out of the air. It could have been TJ, but I believe it was Tremaine. I don't know that TJ had that kind of athleticism because he went up to get that thing. I mean, when I say he went up, he went up. So I was loving seeing that out there. I think Tremaine, I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised with his productivity this year. And I can see it already out there on the field. Another thing that's starting to get a little bit aggressive. So when those pads come on, it's definitely going to be past due. I think that especially on the defense, they're getting really, really aggressive out there. I heard that who was that? I want to say Trey Flowers is knocking people around, in the helmets and shorts. So I think they're ready to put on pads. So we got, I think that to the end of this week, I think they'll work through Saturday, and then I think they'll probably give them a day off Sunday and then come back Monday. So Monday or Tuesday, they'll put them pads on. And then we're going to get to really, really see what's really going on with these guys. And I can't wait for that. But let me get to some other notes that I got here. Again, we talked about the situational ball. That's what they're working on a lot. Heard that in the last couple of days. It's a lot of situational ball, red zone, and 2-minute drill stuff. You got to get that stuff down to a science. So they're doing a lot of that. Another thing I keep noticing is olamide zaccheaus keeps coming up, man. Olamide zaccheaus, I think, with the absence of Luther Burden. Oh, well, let me just get to that right now. Let me get this down. Hold on. Let me get to the so who wasn't at practice today? Let me look at this. Give me a second. So Braxton was out. I think he's still in that ramp up phase. They're giving him a rest day. I think that was pre-planned. Braxton Jones was out. Zay Frazier is excused again with some kind of personal absence. So they whatever's going on with Zay Frazier, they know exactly what it is, and they're excusing the absence. Also, Luther Burden again is out, man. That is starting to really, really worry me, man. It really is. Shamar Turner is also out. He rolled his ankle up, and I think that was the very first day of training camp. So whatever is going on with him, he's probably just working his way trying to get back on the field. I didn't, from the impression I got from the coaches and people talking about it, didn't sound like it was anything significant. He just get your ankle rolled up. It take you a little bit to get back where you need to be. So that I'm not worried about. But Luther Burden, that's a whole different conversation. He is, in my opinion, because I'm going to explain this way. Let me get to a couple of comments before I go any further. Yeah, Braxton had a rest day, bro. You say Trey Flowers put the boom on receiver. Yeah, I heard about. Yeah, he's physical out there. Shout out to King Booker, who just busted up in this piece. Let me see. Yeah. So here's the thing. So I use this image to kind of emphasize what I'm about to say right now. Luther Burden. And so now I heard DJ at the podium today. DJ is kind of, DJ is covering for him a little bit. He's in the classroom getting quizzed to make sure he knows everything that he needs to know. And so when he does get back on the field, you hope that he can step right on into whatever role they're trying to give him, and he can just take off from there. But not getting that real live game speed and practice on that grass is going to hurt him a little bit. I hate to say it, but Luther Burden is not going to be where we want Luther Burden to see. I mean, where we want him to be early in whenever he gets back. And I'm finna explain to you why. This image I'm using is talking about role expansion. So we see DJ, and he's not DJ, but Luther as a slot receiver, which is what they drafted him to be. But in this offense, it was pretty well known, and Ben Johnson made it clear that they are all going to have to know everybody else's position. So you need to know what the calls and checks are at the line of scrimmage for the X receiver. You need to know the calls and checks at the line of scrimmage for the Z receivers. And so on and on and on, and everybody else vice versa. Not being able to get out there on the field and actually go through those physical muscle memory reps is going to hurt him. There's no getting around that. There's no getting around it. You can look at anything you want to look at on a tablet or an iPad and know your role on it. But until you put feet on the grass, toes to the grass, it's going to be, you're going to get out there and the speed of the game is going to shock you at first. So I don't expect Luther Burden to have a really strong impact on this team early in the season. If he does, I'd be surprised. That means he's doing more than I thought he was in the background, but I don't see it. And olamide zaccheaus is getting a lot of reps out there. A lot of reps. He's getting a lot of balls thrown at him. And, this guy's got to play catch up, man. This is not good. And I'm not saying it's bad or terrible, but him not getting out there and getting these reps, there's no getting around it. I'm not going to try to make the situation worse than it actually is. I'm just saying, just from experience, I know you need that muscle memory. with those reps that you're looking at on that tablet. You need that muscle memory on the grass, man. You do. Well, let me get to a couple of comments here. Shout out to Kenny Adams, just busted up in his piece. What up? I'm in here. Bear down. He says, let me see. King Booker says, so I heard the offense started slow, then closed pretty good. And I heard it was all bad. It was bad all around. Somebody lying. I think it's so early in the install phase. You heard DJ Moore when they were asking him questions about what it looks like out there. The thing to remember is we're only in day 3 of installs. They're at the very, very beginning of the playbook. So at the very beginning of the playbook is just a bunch of, just basic stuff that you got to remember. And that's just knowing where you need to be, being there on time. When the checks come in at the line of scrimmage, when Caleb checks out of something, what's your check? And you're playing the Z receivers, DJ, what's your check? We were setting up for a run and we had to check out of it. What's your check on this play? If we're setting up a pass to go this direction and Caleb gets to the line of scrimmage, sees the defense, thought they were in zone, they get in man coverage, what's your check on that play? Things like that. It's the cerebral part of what they're going through right now. It's just retention. It really is. It's just retention, just trying to remember where you're supposed to be if he calls this, if he checks out of that. If there's a hot call, what's your hot read there? That kind of stuff. That just, and when I say it to you and put it to you like that, hopefully you can understand why the offense is struggling and you're hearing about how bad it's looking out there and it's not looking so good. Then you can understand why. It's all those kinks you got to rub out. All those kinds of kinks, and no way to do it unless you're out there going through it in 11 on 11s, really. Be honest with you. Let me see. Squeegee says the run defense got to step up this shit, no doubt about that. Let me see. Levante says he'll be fine, no man. He'll be back soon. Yeah, I think he will be fine. I'm just talking about how soon he'll get acclimated, given all the time he missed. That's all I'm saying. If his learning curve is a little bit more wide, it'll take him a minute, man. But if he's really doing what they saying he's doing, you can expect he'd come out there and within a week or so, he might be a little bit up to speed. But if not, it might take him a few weeks. It really might. But I'm not worried about it at all. You see, Dan Brown, he says pads aren't on yet. No reason to panic. Not at all. Not at all. Don Bird's in here. I ain't see him. He was in here Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday or Sunday, one of them days. We clowned his ass pretty good. Let me see. King Booker says olamide going to be the surprise of the team. I think he's going to be one of them. But the guy that I keep hearing about, let me pull him up right now, over and over again every single day, is this cat right here, J.P. Richardson. Now, I'm claiming this because I know for a fact that I was the first one out of the gate claiming this guy when we got him. Now, I will give some credit to, what's his name, Harrison Graham, who does, Bears chat sports or whatever channel that is. I'm going to get him on the show too, man. We was going to do that a few months back and some stuff happened in my personal life that I kind of dropped the ball, but I'll get him on the show hopefully soon. But I got to give him some credit because he did go to TCU and he knew this guy. He knew his kind of his resume when we got him. So when we got him, I did my homework on him. And as soon as I did the homework on him, as soon as I found out who he was, it was evident to me this is a polished slot receiver who's going to show up. And I mean, it's good. His hands are great. His just releases off the line of scrimmage, man, knowing where to be at, sitting down in zones, and just availability. I think along with Olamide Zaccheaus, J.P. Richardson is going to find his way on this roster. I've said it like 2 or 3 times on different shorts, different shows. This guy is going to be, if you don't watch out, this guy's going to fool around and end up taking some reps with some people. That's what's going to happen because he's going to end up being one of Caleb's favorite receivers. I'm telling you, man, this guy can play some football. Let me get to a couple of comments. Let me see. When do the pads come on, Joseph? That is either Monday or Tuesday, I do believe. Monday or Tuesday. Let me see. Crimson says I wanted the Lions to win, but that window's closed now. I firmly believe that. I firmly believe that. Let me see. Squeegee said Burden is there in the building, so he's participating in what he can. It's not like he's in a cast at home. No, he's not. He's getting, mental reps. That's what you if that's what you can be doing, that's what you should be doing. But that's still not enough. Mental reps ain't gonna get it all done for you. You got to get on that grass. But let me see. He said Levante says I could talk to Harrison if you need me. Yes, sir. By all means, Levante, I would appreciate that. I would appreciate that. And whatever you speak to him, let me know. I will follow up with you on that and with him. I would appreciate that. That'd be nice, Levante. Appreciate that, bro. Let me see. JP is taking Scott's place per King Booker World. Yeah, you know what? Man, I said it at the beginning, King, didn't I? I'm telling you, this guy right here, like Tyler Scott, is in mortal danger, imminent danger, bro. Tyler Scott is definitely in imminent danger. He's gonna have to have a hell of a camp. And if you know what, to be honest with you now, I have been looking at some games when Tyler Scott towards the end of the season they threw him back there as a kickoff returner, and he did flash, man. I will say that. Like in the Green Bay game in particular, man, he almost broke one or two of them. So there's that going on with him. And I think people tend to forget that, they did throw him back there and he was kind of flashy back there. But that's not enough to get for the coaches to keep you, because JP Richardson has some special teams ability too in the return game, punts and kickoff. He's got some ability. He doesn't have the long speed of Tyler Scott, but this guy can get the ball in his hands and can make something crack. Just saying. So Tyler Scott's up against it, man, in my opinion. Let me see. You think Levante thinks he'll go to the practice squad? I would hate, you know what, Levante, I would hate to see that happen, because even though I'm not a coach, I know I got a football mind that can kind of see what other coaches see in a football player. And I'm telling you, he wouldn't be on that practice squad long if they did it. So I would definitely want them to find a place on the 53 to keep him there one way or the other. If whether he dresses that week or he doesn't, keep him on the 53. I think he's a nice piece to have. And I think if you put him out there, especially if he keeps performing in his camp, once preseason starts, he puts some nice stuff on tape on this level, you are putting him in jeopardy the minute you put him on the practice squad. But if he ends up there, that's the best thing they could do for the situation. If he gets scalped, he gets scalped. But that'd be a bad deal for us, man. I think we got a piece here. Shout out to Joseph Archer. Football is here. All right. Let me get to some other stuff I'm hearing about. The offense did finish a little bit stronger today. That was pretty clear from multiple reporters reporting on the Bears today. Again, defense is blitzing a lot and disguising coverages. I seen guys flying all over the place. I saw what was it? I think it was a screenplay. It was set up to DJ Moore or somebody like that on the left side. And here came Tyreek Stevenson on a blitz and jumped right in the passing lane, knocked and batted the ball down. This is, Tyreek Stevenson, I think that's one of the guys. Let me take this image down, man. Tyreek Stevenson is one of those guys. I believe this. I think he's going to have a better season than people would imagine, because I said this very early in the offseason, and I continue to say it, and I'm going to say it one more time here on the show. Tyreek Stevenson is perfectly suited to play Dennis Allen's style of defense. Perfectly suited. Number one, Dennis Allen's an aggressive play caller. And number two, Tyreek Stevenson's aggressive. He's an aggressive football player. And so he is right. I mean, he is so right up the alley for Dennis Allen. It's not even funny. This guy is going to perform. He's going to make major plays. He's going to have big hits. And he's going to be in faces talking shit to people. And you're going to love it. For all the people that wanted to see Tyreek Stevenson get run out of town and traded and kicked off the team, cut because he had a bad play, that is just so narrow-minded. I understand you being upset about that, but that cat is majorly talented. He's going to fit perfectly like a hand to a glove in this defense. I'm telling you that right now. I'm standing on it. Let me see here. A couple of comments came in. Yeah, I saw Don Rob come off the off the if you're looking at the defense, well, if we're the defense and you're looking at the offense, he was coming off the right hand side, and he came off clean. Now he got beat the shit out of Cole Kmet and came off clean. He would have smashed the hell out of Caleb Williams. I saw that on film. Definitely saw that. Levante Rogers says it's too many wide receivers in the room, Nomad. That's why I'm saying that. I don't. Yeah, it's a lot of miles to feed. Ain't no getting around that, cuz it's a lot of miles to feed. How you get those guys the ball and how often you get those guys the ball, it's going to have to be, you know, especially when we're talking about Luther Burden. He could be it could be games where, well, I know it's going to be games where he didn't see the ball that much, and it's going to call for other guys to touch the ball a little bit more. Can he get over that, man, when he's not featured in the offense? It's going to be games where he gets the ball a lot. I think week to week will determine how they use all those guys, but it's definitely a crowded receiver room, and it's going to be a task trying to get all those guys the touches that they want for real. Let me see. Liberty's Outlook says, do the twos scrimmage against the twos? And if so, which unit do you think is better? That's good. That's a good question. You typically don't want that. You typically don't want that as a coach. You just wouldn't want to see twos against twos. You want to see twos get as many reps as they can get against the ones as you can get them. And that's the best way to get them better, whether it's on the offensive side or the defensive side of the ball. You want the backups to get reps against the ones as often as possible. As far as I couldn't tell you which unit is better, especially on the offensive side of the ball. It's hard to know because it's hard to know how they're rotating these guys right now. But once they put those pads on, we'll get a better sense. Defensively, I don't think there's a major letdown when the twos come in. I don't think there's a major letdown at all. Matter of fact, I don't know if I took these images out of here, but let me see here. Oh man, I think I took it out. But I had some images I was using on Wednesday night show, man. That was kind of talking about the D-line rotation, Liberty. And the way I see it lining up, I don't think, especially on the D-line, I don't think there's a setback when the first wave of guys comes off the field. I think we're still strong when the second unit comes in. Because I think they'll put Andrew Billings there to anchor that. You're talking about Austin Booker coming off the edge. You're talking about possibly Shamar Turner going to be that 3-tech coming off. And very likely it's going to be Tano Passano on the other side coming off the edge. And I like that. I don't think that's a big letdown whatsoever, if at all. So I'm loving that part of it. Let me get to another comment here. Who gets more interceptions in 25, Tyreek or Jalen Johnson? I think Tyreek stands a better chance because he'll probably get more targets. If I had to pick between the two, it's not like teams will totally avoid Jalen Johnson. He'll have some opportunities, but he's known around the league as a shutdown corner. And if teams could scheme up who they want to pick on until Tyreek starts taking that ball away, which I think he'll have many chances to do this year, he's going to see more of the targets than Jalen. And so opportunity-wise, you would imagine that Tyreek will get more opportunity, in my opinion. Shout out to AC who just busted up in here. AC Adam up in this piece. Let me see. Dan Brown says, I wish the Bears would have drafted running back Brashard Smith. Don't even get me started, Dan Brown. Don't get me started. You know I was hot on that guy in the offseason. You know it. You irritating me right now, but in a good way, man. Because I really wanted him to, Dan Brown. And I was upset that they didn't draft a running back earlier than they did. But here they are. Here we are now. We're dealing with what we're dealing with. He said, converted wide receiver with good hands. Our running backs are not very good receivers. KC got him in the 7th. They did get him too. I forgot about that. That they just got better, a lot better. I bet Smith is often explosive for the Chiefs. He's going to be explosive for them. He's going to have huge plays with Patrick Mahomes throwing that ball to him. He's a hell of a receiver. So he's a converted receiver to running back. He left after Miami. I think he played in Miami as a receiver for about 3 years. And probably the best thing he could have ever did is have them coaches talk him into coming into the transfer portal and coming to SMU as a running back, which really boosted his stock tremendously. Probably would have been a UDFA had they not. And I think he should have been drafted a lot earlier, Dan. I think he's that good. Shout out, AC, man. Shout out. But yeah, let me think. Let me get to a couple more notes I got here before we get out of here. Let me see. Again, we talked about JP Richardson. We talked about the injuries and the guys not playing. How physical the camp is. But I want to see if you guys heard about this, man. I'm sure pretty much everybody's heard about this by now. But in case you haven't, this is hilarious, man. So I was listening to Big Bill on I think it was Bears Weekly with Joniak and those guys, Tom Thayer, and they had Billings on there. But before that, we had Kevin Byard come to the presser, and somebody's brought up Andrew Billings, and I think they brought up the up downs, and Andrew Billings got mentioned. And they got to do like 40 up downs, and Big Bill running in here at about 335, 340. I don't know. I think most people know what an up down is. It is exactly what it sounds like, people. It's exactly what it sounds like. You chopping your feet, running in place, and then coach blows a whistle and tells you to go down to the ground. Then you got to go down. Then you got to get up as fast as you can. You do 40 of them, you're going to be winded. Imagine a 340-pound man doing that. Man, it was so hilarious the way Kevin Byard described it, and then Big Bill was talking about it on Bears Weekly. It was hilarious. Big Bill, shout out to Big Bill, who I think is going to have a big year. He's going to be healthier, and you got to love it. This guy is going to also be a stalwart on this defense. This is why I feel like we're going to have one of the, mainly because of a guy like Andrew Billings. And you got, Jonathan Ford to kind of back that up with him. You still got other guys in there that we ain't talking about as much, man. I think this defensive line is going to be sturdy. God willing, we keep them healthy as we can, knocking on some wood, man. But Big Bill, man, doing up downs, Lord, that probably was a disaster. I would have allowed to pay good money to see that, man. She said, man, fuck up. Oh, man. Unless you've been, they said fuck up downs 2 days. Hey, man, look, man. They call those burpees in prison, right? They call them burpees. Prisoners call them burpees. It's up, downs, up, downs, up, downs. But I can tell you right now, I've been through that enough times in my Pee Wee League days, enough of that in high school that I can write a book about up, downs. One, I can tell you this, man. The best thing about doing up, downs is when you do them. Like our coaches used to put us through all kinds of conditioning stuff, man, just running us, and then get us on the line of scrimmage and start running plays, start simulating plays. And we be gassed, completely gassed, winded. And that's when you want to get those kinds of drills in, is when you think you ain't got nothing left, making yourself dig in and find some more. And so we'd be doing gashes for about 5 to 10 gashes. He'll line us up and we'll start running plays. And in between whistles, get out, up, downs, up, downs, up, downs, get up, start doing another play again. So you on the blink, man. You really on the blink, and you can't even breathe, but you got to dig down and find you some more. That's where that kind of stuff pays off in the fourth quarter, late in the game when you don't think you have nothing left, and that other team is tired on the other side of you, but you finding your reserves. That's where that shit pays off at. And so, I'm for it, man. It's a little old school, but I'm definitely with it because I know from experience how that pays off, man. It's going to definitely boost up your condition, boost up your win. Your coach keep doing that to you, man. You're going to definitely be in kind of elite cardio. You be good, man. I'll just say that. Let me look at a couple other comments here. Before we get out of here, let me see. He said they did film it. I wonder if Dan Brown says that. They did film it. I wonder if we'll get a chance to see it. Probably not, man. Unless some reporter got it by chance, we'll never see that. We'll never see that. That would be funny, though, to get that in on it. But that would be great. If they did one of those 1920 football drives, that would be funny in that. So shout out to the Bears, and be nice if they got that in there. It'd be hilarious. Let me see. Levante Rogers says up downs 50 of them, and you better not complain. That's how I did them when I played high school. Yeah, man. They hate you at the time, don't they, Levante? They hate your damn guts. They hate you. And I hated my coaches for it. But in hindsight, after once you get into the season and you seeing the other team suck and win late in the game and you got reserves, then especially in high school, I didn't really get it. Pee Wee League, I'm like, man, these dudes just trying to torture us. But later on in the game, when I had win and the guys in front of me was sucking it, that it definitely pays off. Yeah, man, it's funny to look at it. I would have been. I'd pay good money to see Andrew Billings doing 40 up downs. 40 of them. I bet he was slow as dirt getting off that ground. Slow as dirt. Crimson says, oh, hell no. You say anything and the whole team got to run laps. We went through that before too, man. Somebody complaining about it and he puts it on us even more. A couple of fights happened during the practice and after practice because of up downs and people not doing what they're supposed to do, causing us to get more. You're going to get your ass whipped when we get in the locker room, dog. Straight up. And coaches can't help you. They will not help you. We manage the locker room. So you better not be saying nothing to the coaches. If you got something you want to say, you better keep it under your breath. Because you say something and cause us to get more of it, man, you're in trouble out here. So, man, it's nice to hear that they brought some old school football back to the team, man. And Andrew Billings' big ass doing up down is hilarious to think about. But that's about as much as I got today. If anybody got anything else, any other comments, any questions, anything before we get out of here, that'll do it for the day, man. I believe this, man, from what I saw on film, and I'm just going to talk about the offense right now. From what I saw on film, what I can discern is everything is starting to get a little bit more clean. I'm talking about what he's doing in the huddle. Caleb Woods doing in the huddle, the speed and the pace of it, getting to the line of scrimmage and getting the snap off in time. Everything is starting to get a little bit cleaner, which you would expect. 3 days in a row, kind of doing the same thing. On the third day, you expect a little bit more clean execution of it, and I'm starting to see it. It's starting to look a little bit better. Caleb Williams under center, he's still rubbing some kinks out there. You can tell, and he's running for his life out there for the most part too, because ain't nobody padded up, and that's advantage defense. So there's nothing to poo-poo the line about or Caleb Williams. It's just he's doing a lot of running around out there, and he needs to. We'll see if that continues when the pads go on. I don't expect it to be perfect when the pads go on. I still expect the defense to whoop their asses for the most part, especially at the left side until they get that solidified. We're going to see what happens there. Again, I would caution people that think, Braxton Jones is going to lay down and let somebody take his role. I would not expect that. I don't expect that. I think Braxton's going to fight and fight the devil to tooth and nail to keep that spot. And I expect that. He's a competitor. So let me see. Let me look in the chat one more time before we get up out of here. He said, "Get your ass whooped and coaches tearing y'all head. We knocking dude out." Yeah, hell yeah. Real talk. I've never been in a locker room where the coaches will come to your aid, per se, when it comes to stuff like that. When you're in trouble with your teammates, good coaches know to leave that be and let the team manage that situation. We police ourselves. And if you got a little too wrong, somebody call your ass out in the locker room, you got to go. You're going to fight. And whether you want to or not, you're going to fight. That's the way it is. Typically, sometimes it might pop off on the field in front of the coaches. They're going to blow the whistle, but they ain't mad at it. They just acting like they are. This is what they have to do. But yeah, you're going to get your ass kicked in the locker room and you keep costing everybody all this extra conditioning work for real. He said, no, man, you're not allowed to today. He said, that's all on Caleb. Some of it. I'm trying to lay off Caleb and give that man some time and get acclimated to this to this offense. He's gonna be all right, man. He's gonna take time. I know this. He needs to get it cleaned up fast. We ain't got not a day, a minute to waste. He's got to get it cleaned up fast. So extra work, doing what you need to do, Caleb. when on your own time, man, I'd be all football right now. I wouldn't even be accepting calls. I might call my mother, my dad, a few times during the week, but other than that, I'm on football right now. But yeah, that's all I got today. Shout out to everybody for coming. Don't forget, man, to make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to help us out on the channel, man. And we would appreciate that. The subscribe button is absolute free of charge. It doesn't cost you anything. So would you please do us a kind favor and hit the subscribe button and hit the like button? We would really appreciate that. But that's what I have for today. I will see you guys tomorrow sometime, whenever, somewhere around the same time. Hopefully, God willing, I'll be there at this particular time tomorrow. We'll get into some more bear stuff. Hopefully, we'll have even more good news to talk about. But before I leave you guys, I got to leave you with these famous words. If you can think it and you can see it, there's no reason in the world why you cannot absolutely manifest it. Do not, and I repeat, do not be a prisoner of your own mind. But with that being said, I am